How's it going, everybody? Let's talk about the new release today. There's been a couple. One is all my airplane friends are glad to see the V1200 come back, and us builders and rock crawler guys and gals, there's a new builder's kit. Let's talk about it. Last night we were talking, but we couldn't talk about this, but now we can. And for those of you who haven't built kits, this one is fantastic. And we have been building a lot of 10 3s, and I've built 5 base camps and turned a couple into pre-runners. So I've built a handful of these Axial kits and, some Vanquish as well and RC 4-wheel drive, but I've built like 5 of these base camp 10 3s. This is not the base camp 10 3. And I thought we might go through the pictures and talk about why it's not and what's super cool about this one. Some influencers got these today, and there's been some videos, and they're fine, but I don't think they're building a bunch of kits where they can speak to the difference necessarily. So if you're curious, ask away. I will probably edit this up into a shorter piece later. I just got in and wanted to talk about this today because I'm super excited about it. There's a lot of cool differences, and we'll go over that. We'll just look at this picture for a minute, and then we can go to the site and click through the pictures if you'd like. If you're here, say hello. I see you, Chris. How's it going? I don't normally schedule them ahead of time like this. I usually just go live, but I scheduled today just a few minutes ago. So any crawler buddies, get them in here. Victor RC Jets, what's going on? AZ Des Rider 1, heyo. Did you guys see the drop today? It's not just another 10 3, and I'll tell you why. Yes, we all have an addiction to RC therapy. It could be worse, JD's RC, what's going on? Yeah, you guys got any questions about who in here has built kits? It does have high clearance links on the rear. So I've got a little bit of everything to kind of show you the difference and also explain it. I got a Coyote next to me, and we'll talk about this until we lose steam. Right away, and I plan on going over this a few times tonight, potentially. So again, I've built 5 base camp builders kits. The base camp builders kits are also straight axle, which is fantastic. With the base camp builders kit, you do not get bumpers like you get here. You do not get these newer shock towers. You do not get the elastomeric straps for doing different kinds of batteries. And you do not get the boat side skids. I don't know if I said that already. So the tongue and groove you can see at the front shock tower, for all intents and purposes, this is a Coyote builder's kit, except it's straight axle instead of portal like the Coyote, right? You get the panhard bar that is metal and allows you to run either straight or portal axles and still have your link geometry work out. You get bumpers with the fair lead. Different than the base camp is the shock towers and the servo tray up in the front. It's a lot beefier on this one. You do have the high clearance links, Chris, like you mentioned, and the Coyote does come with those. So, I mean, really, these old flapping lips, what's going on? I was dying to talk about this last night, but I couldn't. I'm legit wish I had one of these. The videos today have been great from everybody, but man, dude, I've built 5 of these base camps. So some of you guys that are familiar with the 10 3 know that the base camp and this kit here share the same $269. It's like the same money or a little bit less than the base camp builder's kit. And you get high clearance links on the back. You get bumpers that you didn't have before, and the elastomeric straps for the batteries, and different like shock towers, and an improved um, servo mounting location. So you've got, just on the base camp, you also had, you could have mounted multiple servos there. You can still do that on this one, but it's beefier. You do get the pan hard that'll let you run portals on here if you wanted to, by just a small adjustment, and you get more universal body mounts on this one. What's up, Bird? Mike Bird? You get more universal body mounts also. You like portals? Yeah. I mean, it's a Coyote without the portal axles, basically. And one thing that's different about the transmission is very minimal. It's just that cover that allows you more space for the battery. Let's switch it up a little bit. So the battery location on the Coyote is here in the front. And so it's the same transmission that we see on like the base camps and the low center transmission setup. So different than the early Bronco and the CJ7 and the Rubicon and the Gladiator from before, you get the low center gravity chassis. The base camp kits come with the dig, everything except the servo. So we usually just lock them out. On my Coyote, I did do the dig work, and there's a video of that. But so I want to talk about the differences between the base camp in this kit, and I also want to talk about the differences between the Toyota and this kit, which is basically like talking about the differences between the Coyote and the Toyota. So with this, which is, again, this is just like the builder's kit, except that this is portal. So the boat sides on the Coyote and the new builder's kit are this style. The boat sides on the new Toyota SR5 have provisions for rock slider rails as well. The tongue and groove for the catch mechanism on the body on the Coyote and the new builder's kit are angled like this. On the Toyota, it's flat straight. So there's some minor differences. You can see a good look at the servo tray on this, which is different than all the base camp builders kits. So this Coyote has that, which is also like the new kit. And one thing too, if you've built one of these kits that no one seemed to mention, was that if you've built a base camp builders kit, you'll remember that the C chassis, the rails, are 4 pieces, and you could essentially kind of adjust, stretch them out that way, or tighten it up. These are 1-piece rails. So same shape, all the cross member stuff is going to be compatible. But just like the Coyote, the new Axial Builders kit has solid all the way through left and right C-channel chassis rails, which is kind of nice. It's a little fiddly getting it right. It's not been any problem on the base camps, but I do like how the new kit has solid front to rear, left and right chassis rails, which is fantastic. You'll notice too that when we're looking at the media on the new kit, you get regular coilovers. You don't get these Coyote shocks. So you get regular coilover, like 90mm shocks. It's fine. They put the shocks, like I think is one of the first things in the manual. Save it. Save it. Do the other stuff. Make some headway. Get the axles assembled and your diffs and stuff just to reward yourself. And then take your time on getting the shocks right. Yeah, this is, the bumpers are, they may be the same bumpers as the Coyote, but the base camp builders kit did not come with bumpers. So it's very cool that the new builders kit does have all those options. And the links are actually beefier. So these are a little, they're high clearance, but they're a little bit skinnier on this than they are on the new kit. So you get beefier links on the new kit. And if you're familiar with the base camp builder's kit, you'll notice that the shock towers are just a little bit different. So you've got more opportunity to lay shocks down and adjust them the way you want. Uh, Slightly different design on some of the cross members, but the whole locations are all the same. So what I love about that is how, modular it is. If you have a bigger battery than like a 2200 that you wanted to run in the new kit, or Coyote for the same matter, you do have the opportunity to mount up a battery on the boat sides if you wanted to. So, Dad, what's going on? Good to see everybody. So let's go over just some of the media on the kit. I think the price is fantastic for all you get. It comes with the dig situation. All you have to do is add a servo if you don't want it. What's interesting about the dig is it's easy to lock it out. Obviously, if you're going to remove the dig, you have to get some different components. So even if you don't want the dig, just go ahead and assemble it, because the kit comes with the drive shafts you need for that setup, because it shortens that rear drive shaft when you have the dig unit as part of the situation. Let's see. Let's pull it up and go over the pictures on the site. These are shipping out, I think the 25th. And we're just going to scroll through the pictures. They're fantastic. So let's get dialed in. And start looking at the pictures. Let me shrink it down so I can see you guys. Let me share again here. There we go. Why isn't that coming up? Bear with me. An SCX6 builder's kit would be fantastic. There we go. All right. I want to make sure you guys can see. All right, cool. So there we go. Now they are showing a couple that were built already, and it is a builder's kit, so you can do whatever you'd like to it. This is a Proline body that's actually available FJ40, and I believe it comes with a cage work, which looks fantastic on here. So here is the picture that I had posted earlier. What a complete kit. So you've got the battery up front and forward of the transmission like you do on the Coyote. Very cool. Clipless body options, different shock towers, comes with bumpers, and it's straight axle. Folks are going to love that. High clearance links, and they're beefier than what you get on the Coyote. Let's see. So yeah, there's a regular kind of compy body on here. Yeah, the FJ40 looks fantastic. And the FJ40 in the pictures, I think we'll get some more here. Those are, Proline BFGs on the Predator compound with the Proline Rock Shooter beadlocks, which are pretty affordable. They're metal faced, and then plastic like ring and backside. But on the cheap, like decent looking bead locks, I use them all the time, those Proline rock shooters, and I love the BFGs. You do see that they did upgrade and they're using like the Proline rock sliders here, but that's the beauty of this, is you can really do whatever you want, as we've proved evident by all the base camp builds we've done. Yeah, dude, IJ. I can't wait for my link so I can stretch mine out. But I definitely want this kit. I wished I would have had one. I'd have had a build video out for you guys today. Yeah, but the patina work, a guy named Brian did the work on this FJ40, and a guy named G drove it. So if you watch the Axial video from today, you can see this FJ40 running and that Coyote running. And it's actually really cool because two different perspectives. You've got a guy who that's his first kit he's ever built, and then another guy who's been around for a minute. Pretty cool to have those two perspectives come together and talk about their experience with this. I actually do like that the regular 90 millimeter shocks come with this. Nothing wrong with the Coyote shocks, but they're different. So I'm used to the standard coilovers. And I am a sucker for straight axles. I just like them. It doesn't bother me that my Coyote has portals, but if I had this kit, I would do kind of what I always do, build it for performance, but also to look scale. So there's a good shot of what I've been talking about. Same transmission we see in the base camp, the Coyote, the SR5, but you've got this skinnier cover now over the spur gear, which allows you a battery placement here. The battery tray is like 95 millimeters long, and then wide, there's an adjustability where you can spread this plate out that basically goes all the way to this front cover on the spur, which gives you about 43 millimeters wide. But if you take off that adjustable plate, then you can get all the way over to the spur gear cover, which is going to get you more like 45 millimeters wide by 95. And if you wanted to run bigger packs than that, you can see that there's slots in the boat side that are going to allow you to loop through Velcro if you'd like. You can add dig. This comes with all the gearing for the dig. The only thing you don't get is the servo. But you can see right here in this picture, this is where the servo would mount if you had it. And you assemble all of this and engage the lockout. So every one of my base camp kits, it's the same thing. Comes with the dig, but you have to add a servo if you want it. Now, this Coyote doesn't come with the dig. So I had the dig conversion kit and bought the servo and did it. So let's see. You can see the servo is there on the same tray that you're looking at in this picture. So it's really all the same. There's a sliding mechanism that engages and disengages the boss inside the transmission, so you can lock those back wheels up or run it, four-wheel drive. So awesome. But yeah, that's right there. It's right there. We may get to see the other side of it. And this is another thing that's different than really all of the older 10 IIIs. Now, the SR5 and the Coyote and this new kit have this revised, beefier, stronger, we can rebuild him servo tray. And there's a couple little inserts where if you wanted to run a smaller winch servo that's not the standard size servo that we see all the time for steering, you can. But you could also run a big servo for a winch if that's what you had. But I do like this extra beef on the servo tray. And then you see the shock towers really support and stretch all the way to like the front bumper area, which is not what you get on base camps. Only Coyote and this kit, I believe, have this exactly. I think the SR5 may have the standard regular old shock towers. I can't remember. We got to run it, but I didn't get my hands on it for very long. Let's see. If I missed any questions, I'm sorry. There's another good shot of that. I love that this comes with bumpers. You don't get them on the Base Camp Builders kit, which is still around, but I have a feeling with this new one, you know how it goes. Your days may be numbered. I think this is $269 and the Base Camp Builders kit is $299, if I remember right. Jason Earl, what's going on? Love it. You know, the SR5 has the Trail Gear branded equipment on it as well, which is going to be different than this, which is standard, what, AR45s? Clean. Great looking pinion angles, high clearance links, super modular, ton of adjustability for shock placement. And one of my favorite tricks, I don't know if we can zoom in on this picture. Let me see if I can find a better picture for one of my favorite tricks I do to most of my rigs right away as I'm building them. Let's see if I get a close up of it. There's the rear end. I love it. I was joking with Kelly the other day, like I think I can build the base camp without the manual at this point. I would only need it for screw sizes here and there. But yeah, smooth. I'll go back through if I'm not able to find what I want to find picture-wise. Yeah, that's going to be it. $269. Ships March 25th. Links in the description if you're interested. I did post this stuff out earlier today. And the V1200's back as well for my airplane buddies. Can I zoom in on this? And you guys still see it? Not very well. I kind of need a quarter shot or a side shot to show you my favorite trick. Well, this will have to do. So, oh, good. You can still see what I'm talking about. So, if you're crawling, you know that center of gravity is super important. You've got a lot of options for the top of the shock mountings. And depending on who you ask, you only have one option down low, but that is what I call false. So if you can see where I'm got the cursor, there is a, you know, designed in perch to capture the base of the shock right there. Well, if you want to drop your truck to improve the center of gravity for basically free, the cost of 4 bolts, what I do all the time is remove it from this perch here, get 4 longer bolts, and put the screw down to share and attach at the boss for the links. So basically you can drop this rig about 1/2 an inch for free. 4 bolts. And I do it all the time. I think it's a slick trick. Keeps you from buying a whole new set of shocks if you think it's too tall. I think that's fantastic. And I'll have to look at the specs. Those are going to be either 90 millimeter or 100 millimeter shocks. Wild Bill, what's going on? Somebody told me you got an SR5, dude. Congrats. Dude, they're great kits. I've enjoyed the base camp, the 10 III. 10.3s are, there's multiple iterations of the 10.3, and I think that's why I get so excited by a new announcement from Axial on the 10 scale side. Of course, I'd love new announcements on the 6 scale side as well, but it's way more niche, it's way more special. 10 scale, we've got the opportunity to see more releases come, and I'm glad they did a kit because a lot of us like them. And if you're going to outfit your rig with a different brushless motor anyway, when you build this, you really have a good understanding of what's going on. Like Kelly and I have built a handful of these at this point. So when we were running our pre-runners, which is basically this, except it's the base camp builders kit instead of this one, we heard some noise in the transmission. And you kind of think, if you don't know better, you kind of think diff right away, front or rear differential. But you'll inspect it and you'll realize there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's the dig lockout, or your dig servo needs a little bit of adjustment. And what we found on our base camp builders kits is that if you tighten up, and you'll know if you're looking at the manual, if you tighten up your linkage all the way to where you see none of the threads, and then you use the lockout, it doesn't engage the gear in far enough. So it's possible you might hear a little click here or there, or have it catch or sound bad. And so the trick there is to spin it out, expose about 1/8 of an inch, not quite, of threads on that mechanism. And now when it's locked out hard and full. No problem. No noise. It's fantastic. So those are little tricks that none of the, as good as they are, nobody really was speaking to today. And another trick I'll tell you, because so many of us love our brushless upgrades. When you do a Hobby Wing 1800, 2300, or Spectrum brushless, any of these brushless motors, whether it's a 2-in-1 combo or just a straight up brushless motor, if you're following along in the kit, the bolts they want you to use for the motor are going to be too long, and they'll get into the stator and the mechanism inside the can itself. So either you use shorter screws, or you use some washers or something to space them out so they don't do that, or grind them down. Something to look out for. You don't know unless you know, but I'm telling you, if you're building one of these, when you get to the motor mounting part, you're probably going to want shorter screws. Not a problem. Just do it. But if you use what they give you, always, after you put something together, test it. When you install a diff, spin it. Make sure everything spins. You know what I mean? Same thing when you mount up your motor, spin it. Spin the shaft. That's how I discovered this. I did this. I used the bolts provided, and then I couldn't turn the motor. I'm like, well, okay, it's because the bolts are too long. They're into it. It can be the servo, and when you are setting up a dig, and I showed it on the dig install on the Coyote, how to program the radio. You're going to have a servo saver as part of that assembly. So it's easy to overdo it and not know you've overdone it. So when it comes time to, engage the dig and lock up those back 2 wheels, check your travel and make sure the servo's not buzzing. You're not working it too hard. All you need it to do is what it's got to do. Depending on how you set them up, one way or the other way may be throwing too far. So you got to back that up on the travel or advance it. If it's not enough, you got to advance it. So it's something to look out for when you're setting up a dig. I always say find neutral on that servo. Don't necessarily hard mount it right away. Get as close as you can before you hard mount it. And then be ready to really take a good look at that servo saver and both sides of that operation to make sure you're not stressing out the situation, the servo. And even you can feel if they're getting warm, you probably are stressing it out. You know what I mean? It should not be getting hot for sure. So absolutely flapping lips. Yep, check out the travel for sure. For sure. But yeah, I was dying to talk to you guys about this yesterday, and I didn't get it. You can't. It was released today, so there may be a little birdie that tells me things here and there. So I have my reasons, but I wish I had this kit because I'd have had a video for you guys today, building it and running it. I love my DXC Plus. I loved my DX5C, and the C Plus is just like it, except it's got more it can do in regards to binding up to the SLT stuff, the groms and things like that. Fantastic. 4-wheel steers, super easy to hook up on that one. I've got mine running the snow plow on my Scout, which has 3 positions for left and right, and also up and down. I still have the dig on the truck. So as long as you got a servo that can handle it, not a servo, a receiver that has enough channels, you're good to go. So yeah, man, I'm just going to shut that window for a minute and go back to me, but this is still here if I need it. Yeah, I saw that he was on, man. I mean, every day. It's almost every day. So I waited as long as I could, and I scheduled this one out for like 10:35. Because I was hanging out there when I got in tonight. I laid out the last bit of tile today. The last bit, bottom row in the shower, the step, a threshold that just had a few little cuts left. I got everything cut and laid out, and I'll mix up some mortar and set those tile tomorrow after work, and then it's grout time. So I have to do a lot of other stuff there too, though. Install a sink, hang a door, put up the wall for the glass wall in the shower. I got stuff, but I am so pumped to be almost done. I've been working on it every day after work except Wednesday, and one day on the weekend. I give myself one day on the weekend to not. Y'all ain't gonna come at me with nothing. I ain't doing a thing. I'm only doing what I want to do that day. So yeah, man, much love to Ty and the crew over there. But I had to get on about this release, man. I had to. Kelly and I had a great show yesterday talking about 10 scale IJ, 6 scale IJ. He's done a lot of fantastic work to dial in the files we need to fit them on the 6. Really cool. Really cool. Fred, what's going on? You've been doing baseboards, Wild Bill. Yeah. I've got one box, a special order baseboard tile that's not coming for like a week or two. So I'm gonna have this whole thing grouted and done, and then I gotta come back and do 12 feet of baseboard tile and grout it and make a mess over my clean work. But I'll take some pictures. I'll show you guys. Sometimes tile jobs, it's like it's going to give you stigmatism, make your eyes go funny. But yeah, thanks for indulging me on this. I did want to talk about the new release. I think the guys that did videos did a great job. But like, if you're a nerd, you want to talk to me, because I too am a nerd who knows the differences of all the nuts and bolts that are on these multiple iterations of the fantastic Axial 10 III platform. If you get any questions, hit me up right now. I didn't aim to go long today. but I can if the show is jamming. But I've said a lot in regards to this new kit. Remember this. This new kit is basically a Coyote builder's kit, straight axle instead of portal. It very much is that. It's definitely more like the Coyote than the SR5. Truth. We have 17K. Yeah, 17 kids in the chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't wait to run this again. I actually have to get the video done on the stock optic run that I did, and we ran the Guillemot with the brushed Hobby Wing 1800 at the same time. So that'll be a video kind of shows both rigs. But I had to get the optic run done with the Yokohama panels, stock power system. I've got the Porgen files on there now. I've got to put in a new motor, and I'm ready to go. Which, Wild Bill, great question. Which kit is better to put a 3D printed body on? Either one. I think it boils down to, like, honestly, I feel like this tongue and groove that you get on the new builder's kit and on the, again, the Coyote, the tongue and groove for the clipless body, it's fairly unique. So you're going to more be inclined to use a different method to mount the body. The base camp kit and the new builder's kit both come with multiple body post options that fit in cross members that are already going to be an integral part of the shock towers. So you can't go wrong. I think the main differences between the base camp builder's kit, honestly, I would get the new one. It's cheaper and you get bumpers with it, as well as I love the location for the battery being in front of the transmission. So on the base camp builder's kit, I'll show you. It's kind of not fair because I have done a bunch to this one. Because I did the 10 III IJ conversion stuff to this, so it doesn't give an absolutely accurate depiction. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother. It just doesn't do a good enough job to show it because there's so much been bolted onto this. So the Coyote body, if you were wanting to use that clipless body mount system on the new kit, you're going to want to get these bits that go on the Coyote body, which you could easily find in the replacement parts list, but then you don't know how necessarily stuff is going to go. We always just mount our 3D printed bodies up. Kelly and I kind of go at it a little bit differently, but I use what's in the kit, which is going to be either instead of putting on a stock bumper that fits in and then you bolt through it, I'll use the 3D printed bumper, part of the thing I'm making, and then I'll just bolt through where the bumper bolts would have been into the bed of the vehicle, or a little block of whatever I design up in the front and attach. You can also use the base camp builder's kit, and I'm sure this one as well. The new kit also are going to come with a way to hide body posts as well. Like the CJ7 doesn't have body clips that you can see, but there are posts in the back of the body that go into a receiver, exactly like the Mint Julep, Fred. And what you see on the Mint Julep is a lot of what I've done on the big rigs too. But like, honestly, the difference is that you get high clearance links, which are these curvy ones in the back. So you got a better, break over. You get bumpers on the new kit that you don't get on the base camp. And you get the battery location here in the middle and the boat side skids instead of the rough as a cob, old school 10 III skids that have the potential to catch on stuff. You can't go wrong either way. The transmission on this Coyote and the base camps all mount in the same spot, same hole pattern, everything. The difference is that on the base camp, this cover for the spur gear is so big that you couldn't put a battery here. So with the new kit and the Coyote, I'm telling you, this new kit is basically a Coyote, bro. Just it's straight axle instead of portal. That is really it. I love fitting a 2200 3S in here. 95 millimeters by, you can get 45 out of it if you take off the little tiny middle adjustable width piece. I like this elastomeric webbing, rubber webbing to hold the batteries down quite a bit. You get regular coilovers on the kit instead of these. But if down the road you wanted to change to portal axles, the panhard is a universal where you can move the panhard and run either straight axle or portal axle on this and on the new kit. The new kit is dope, dude. $269. I think the base camp is $299, and the base camp was $320 just the other day. It's pretty stretchy. Yeah, we're live. We're live. I wanted to talk about the new release, man. And I got my Coyote up here because it is very, 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 very similar. It's kind of interesting where the base camp RTR is portal, but the base camp builder's kit is straight axle. And the Coyote RTR is portal. And the builder, they don't call it a Coyote builder's kit, but that basically is what it is. So just like the base camp being RTR's portal and the kit is straight axle, they at least followed suit with this new kit being straight axle as well. And the RTR, just like it, is portals. How stretchy is it? Plenty stretchy. Plenty stretchy. If you want to see a good look at the way this new kit kind of bolts together and goes together, I did a ton of videos on the Coyote where I showed how to increase the overdrive. So I'm getting into the axles on that video. I did a video where I showed you how to install the dig as well. So you can kind of get a look at the transmission and some of that. Also, I threw some brass on here. We ran it stock, put it up against some things. I have not run it since I went brushless. This is the coup de grace. This is the icing on the cake. And if you know, you know. Go brushless. You can get Hobby Wing and Spectrum 2-in-1 units at Horizon as well, or wherever you like going. Pretty sweet. Any other questions, man? I have a pretty good grip of what's up with that new kit. So ask me. And that's why the shock tower business is different on this than the base camp builder's kit. Same with the new kit. You're going to have the slightly different cross member and bracing here because this is where the back end of that clipless mechanism would mount to. And if you're not using that, you can see you've got regular old body posts that are going to be adjustable. There's short ones, middle ones, long ones, super tall ones. So front or rear, you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do. And again, beefed up servo tray with provisions for a couple servos. If you wanted to run a super small winch servo, you can, or you can take off this plate in the middle. if your winch servo is the same size as your steering servo, you can easily make it happen. I bet that part comes right off, Chris. So do they make a delete cross member? Let's check it right now. They show it in the pictures, but I don't think you don't have to use it. And that's the thing with my base camp builders kits. And the same way with this new kit, there's going to be a ton of stuff that you may not want or need. So the tongue does come right off. Now, in the kit, is there a piece that stretches that gap? Probably. I don't know. I don't know. But this is so strong with that new servo tray that I can't make it flex anyway now that that top part of the cross member is gone. Dude, I'm squeezing. So, yeah, you don't have to have that tongue and groove if it's in the way. Yeah, you don't need it. It is nice because there's the shock tower provisions in it. I would be very surprised if this kit did not come with a clean version of this without the tongue. But I mean, honestly, you could cut on it. You could cut on it, or you could put it on upside down, but then it's in the way of your battery a little bit. But yeah, man, when I build my 3D printed stuff, I just make them mount the way I make them mount, and I wouldn't be using that probably unless it was easy. It depends where the stuff fits. You can flip it upside down, but then it's into your battery tray. So if your battery is going to be on your rock sliders instead of in the middle, then yeah, flip it upside down. It kind of gets in the way of the servo here, flipping it upside down and forward. So I'd be very surprised if it didn't come with, it's a nothing piece, that little just cross with the shock body post holes for if you wanted it. Great question though, because yeah, flipping it out of the way would be easy. Cutting it off is a choice, but I bet because those guys that showed this off today, I don't think any of them were running clipless. And this is pretty compact. So the chances of this being in your way is kind of slim as well. It is pretty low profile. But as being a builder myself, I can see where, you know, maybe you would want to get rid of it. But I would be very surprised if it didn't come with one that doesn't. The kit boasts like 11 or 17 different universal body mounts. So there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. But yeah, it's a little bit different mechanism on the back here than it is on the Toyota, but it's the same idea. What else? And you can see on the Coyote, there's this extra elevated piece of the hood, and that's to give something to screw into for that underneath piece. So if you were trying to use this on a 3D printed situation, you're going to have, it's almost, that juice isn't worth the squeeze. It's like there's so much to do to make that work. Now, I think if you had the Coyote, there's a Coyote body that's got the box back instead of this like comp cut. And you could utilize these bits to make that work, but you would still have to do traditional methods in the back more than likely, or create a way to hide the pins down on the bottom side. The DeWalt gyro screwdriver will change your life. Can't wait to run this, dude. Again, this one and the Optic, and if I still got the Guillemot in my possession, need to go hit the rocks at Bonneville, where we did the Vertex video and the Coyote up against a built rig the other day. That place is challenging. So these rigs for the performance, that's where they need to go get run. So yeah, thanks. I wanted to talk about the new one today. You know, the V1200 new release, glad to see it back. You know, it's always nice to see a favorite, so many people's favorite. There's really nothing like that. That V1200 is a fantastic way to dig a fence post. Really, the only thing different about it's going to be the AS3X Plus technology. It should have that. It probably does, which just means that there's less of a setup on the radio and a little bit more fine-tuned algorithms for the technology and the stability, which most of us can't tell the difference, to be completely honest. But yeah, different paint scheme, and it's back. So we'll find out more as it goes on, if any other improvements were made on that one. But I just was dying to get on about this release. I didn't tell Kelly till after the show yesterday because I didn't want to slip up and talk about that kit that was released today. $269, cheaper than the base camp kit, and you get more. Get out of town. Hanger 51, what up? So yeah, man, about 5 minutes. You know, we'll keep the show, maybe 8 minutes. We'll keep the show at an hour or something. And if there's anything you want to see, get any questions on the new kit, let me know, and we'll wrap it up. Have a good weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. The Havoc, that was a neat one. I have feelings and hunches. I'd be surprised if they did. I'd be surprised if they did, because I feel like they're honing in and focusing. Look how many Timbers we got. Look how many Vipers we got. Look how many Habus we got. So I'd be surprised with another sport jet. There's no basis for that other than just a hunch. But I mean, I'd like to see more of the scale. I was really glad to see. I hope that Beechcraft new paint job did something good for that, because that Golden Age bird is beautiful. It flies neat, and there's nothing like a Beech 18 out there on the market. So just another fantastic offering, you know, and awesome planes like the 1.5 Mustang, 1.5 Focke-Wulf, like they're gone. So I feel like they got sport jets covered with the Viper. Oh, what, 30 millimeter, 64 millimeter, 70 millimeter, and a 90 millimeter Viper? That's fantastic. Where do you go from there? Bigger is all you can do. And then you've got Habu 80, 70, and 50 millimeter, right? So I kind of got it under wraps. But yeah, scale jets. I mean, I love that they did the SU-30, and their F-16s are awesome as well. Starting at the 70, I didn't really like the 64. There's sometimes it's too small, man. It's too small for what it has to carry. The 70 millimeter F-16s, that's a very good size, super light on the wing loading. 80 millimeter, you get a lot more scale bits. It's heavier. It's fantastic. Um, so who knows? There's a lot of popular options out there. I don't know, except for that Mustang. What was the last thing they put out? They got some cool stuff, no doubt. I knew a guy used to work there. Dude, the Rafale, the Delta Wing Rafale behind me. Dude, have you seen the videos I did on this one? That plane's so good, I've recorded videos of it multiple times. The very first video I did on the Rafale, we had a bunch of drone work in it. That video is sick. Me and Bobby. I was flying the drone during the intro, and then I'm flying it in the video. Oh, bro, FMS Rafale. Those videos are sick. So I did one with Dylan not that long ago, like last summer, and then a year or two before that was when I did the first video where I used the drone shots. FMS Rafale, my favorite Delta Wing. It's huge. Really. Bro. I mean, so Delta Wing, so it's not a conventional tail, right? But you get these canards in the front. Jets are fun, and people that don't know better think it's all about going fast. But a Delta Wing like this, especially with the stability and stuff in there, you put the nose up and you just push through with the throttle, and you can fly this thing so slow. We've got some killer landings and touch and goes and high alpha passes in all the videos that we did on this FMS Rafale badasses. I made the mistake of getting rid of my first one, and I had to replace it. I had to replace it. It's one of my favorites. And I have flown a bunch of other people's Rafales. So RC Geek has these 3D printed the 64 Rafale kind of sucks. So RC Geek has these 3D printed nozzles that you just put in the back end of the stock nozzles and you tuck them in. And he's an aeronautical like engineer. This dude knows what he's doing. And so these nozzles, I had flown multiple Rafales and my Rafale a bunch of times. And dude, I got tile dust all over me. So the 3D printed nozzles are so much more efficient. It's bonkers. You're going to get a longer flight time. And if I'm going high alpha with the stock setup, I'm almost buried in the throttle to hold it up. It's so much more efficient, smoother sounding, longer flight time with those nozzles, RC Geeks nozzles. So I flew other guys that had those nozzles in there, and it's night and day. It's crazy. And all my videos are stock. So I'm really in the throttle to do what I want to do, push it around at high alpha. I haven't flown that since I put the nozzles in, so I cannot wait to get that back out. Wildcats flew great. In the real world, they didn't quite have the power, but great bird. Great bird. And then, man, Hellcat and then Bearcat. Can't beat them. Can't beat them. Oh, nice. You got the DJI. Sick. Oh, there I see Fred. Hellcat, Wildcat, Dauntless. Yeah, dude. M- One, I think my first magazine article was a SBD Dauntless kit. Um, that kit was available EPS and it was also available EPO. And I got that to write an article for Park Pilot Magazine. And Park Pilot Magazine was really a stickler about keeping it under 32 ounces, I think it was. And so I wanted the EPO kit, but I got the EPS kit because I knew it would be a little bit lighter. I ended up getting an EPO kit anyway later. I had a few of those Dauntlesses, but that was the Wind Rider SBD, and it was fantastic. Had I think there was some incidence issues. It didn't seem like you could ever get enough weight in the nose, but that plane was pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I went and chased down that model myself and that relationship, and I basically bullied my way into the magazine with that Dauntless. Yeah, Dauntlesses fly awesome. And then Freewing had a Dauntless before Motion really was doing the design work at Freewing. Um, and it was okay. It was pretty good too. Keith Christie says he'd buy any World War II Navy plane in a 1.5 size. Seriously. I mean, almost even 1.2. Make it however big it needs to be to justify suspension retracts. That's what I'm saying. Dude, the Free Wing Dauntless, me and Mike flew the snot out of it. It was a little bit bigger than the Wind Rider one. I think it's like 51 or 53-inch wingspan, perhaps. So good. A Vision Jet, RC Vision Jet. I don't know what that is. Some of the civilian stuff I don't really know very well. I stayed on later than I was going to. What else, guys? Man, all of a sudden the day is over. And like no wonder I stay up till 2 every night. Bruh. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, if you want to see me, Kelly, and Kurt get our hands on this new stuff, the only voice that these folks listen to is the way you guys click through and spend your money. I wish I had that kit in my hands. I wish I had the SR5 Toyota in my hands. I'm very fortunate I got to drive it, and I'm glad I took the opportunity to film it when I had the chance so I could share that last release with you guys. But if you want to see us get that stuff over here, I think we got to make some noise. So click through the links in the description, whether you buy stuff or not. It doesn't cost you anything extra if you do. I appreciate it. Because I know what it's like to be in the game and at the party. And I don't know. That was fun. And I think it was fun for everybody too. And ironically, I was in the loop until I had a hobby shop with some guys and then I fell off. And it's interesting. I'm wanting to get back on, but it's with this stuff. The reason you don't see me flying planes is because there's no pressure if they don't come before the announcement. And so it's the first time in like many years I haven't had to go out and do one. And I like doing them. I especially like doing them when they're cool. But, you know, I ain't gonna lie, making time to go do a UMX that you don't care about in the middle of wintertime, I don't miss that, you know. But man, hit me on these 10 3s, bro. Hit me on these sixes. You could hit me on bashers because I can fly some trucks and I can race them too. And if they hit me on the planes and I had them before announcement, then I'd be forced to get out there again. But I don't see that one happening. So, and that's fine. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about the name of the YouTube channel right now because you guys will start throwing me a bunch of suggestions that I will never use. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because you know. But the Pilot Ryan Media doesn't really work anymore. Honestly, it needs to be something else. Yeah, pulling off the wingtips or the outboard panels on the Mustang, the Focke-Wulf, the Beechcraft, that stuff is also cool. Yeah, man. They changed it. The program is there, but it's different. You don't get in like you used to. But I would say this. If you buy stuff there at all, make sure you're logged in to your Horizon Hobby account when you do. Because if you're anything like a lot of us, it doesn't take long to add up to that threshold where you're going to be elite again. Even though they changed the names and some of the parameters around that program, if you're buying stuff anyway, I can understand being frustrated about the change. I get it 100%. But if you're buying stuff anyway, make sure you're logged in your Horizon Hobby account when you do, because it'll accrue that money that you've spent. And eventually you might be surprised. You'll be in that loyalty situation again. So thank you, Mike. I get it though. I get it. And there's some years where you just don't need much, and then there's other years where it's like, it doesn't take long to hit that threshold. I mean, I remember doing taxes on this YouTube stuff, and it's like, bro, I spent what I made on RCs and keeping them up and getting more and whatever. It's fine. And that's what happens. I mean, all your support for all these years has been fantastic. I appreciate it. I spent a couple years, I feel like, so tired of asking for the click, the links in the description business. Just haven't had much going on other than just sharing what we've been doing with my friends here locally, building, 3D printing, having an absolute great time with no pressure at all. And I'm still here though. I'm still here week in, week out with at least a live if I'm not got a product, something or other. So give them what they want to see. They want to see views on the videos. They want to see engagement in the videos. They want to see clicks. Like, I just want to be in the party, commissions are great. Affiliate commissions are great. Influencers are, supposed to disclose that, when you promote stuff and you have a link. It's when it's pretty obvious, but support whoever gives you the most value. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to, you don't have to pick a favorite, whoever hits you that day. There's sometimes it's like that person has that plane and they gave me tremendous value. I'm going to support that creator by clicking through his link. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But that's what they want to see, man. They want to see sub counts. They want to see video views. The video views did good for me on the SR5 because I actually had it on release day. Release day, being in the game at the party, is the only way you're going to kind of get traction on YouTube. And I know people just don't want to hear about it all the time, and that's why I easily shut up about the links and stuff. But I tell you this, if you don't ask, you don't get it. So I'm asking you. Doesn't cost you nothing, man. Bookmark my Horizon link, my AMain link, my Amazon link, dude, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. Or not. Watch the video and say hi. It's all fine. I hate asking, but if you don't get it. So I'm doing it because I want the stuff. I want the stuff. I think I've got value to give. I think you guys know it. If you were interested in the 10 threes or wanted to recognize that there's multiple iterations with all these little bit of differences and you wanted to know, come on. I'll tell you because we know. So with that, who's getting one? March 25th, bro. March 25th. I got to figure it out. I got to sell another rig. So, look around. I am going to make multiple IJs. I got so many screws for the 10 scale IJ that I'm going to keep making IJ 10 scales until I run out of screws. So different color combinations. I'm going to do some green silk and gray, green silk, and maybe black. The green silk looks fantastic. That's what I put on here. It reminds me of my first bicycle that my dad put together for me that used to be his bicycle. Schwinn Stingray, baby. I want to figure out, I actually want the trim work, the white sticker trim decal on the Schwinn Stingray. I would love to put it on here somehow, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm thinking about using this green silk on another IJ. I would literally be glad to print, build, assemble, and either ship an IJ body that'll go right on your rig if I know what it is, or chassis and all. Like this IJ here on that chassis, once I stretch it out, that's what it's going to be. So, and I can take that gray body off and slap another one on it, whatever, first come, first serve, man. But if you want an IJ, I'll do you one. I printed off the roof last night. It doesn't fit yet. The fastback doesn't fit yet because, oh, that's kind of neat. The fastback doesn't fit yet on my IJ because I got to take the roll cage off to do it. I got to get the brushless in that optic, dude. But my links will be here soon to stretch this out. I can't stand this rear axle. It needs to come back. And then it will be fantastic. And I got the fastback for it. So what I got to do is cut out those. It's actually really smart the way it's super thin, but the file prints the window. It's super thin, so it's easy to cut out. But then you've got the perfect shape for making windows. You know what I mean? So this one's the Gray Ghost. I just wanted to get one under my belt. It's super close. Super close. And I'll make them to order. If you want lights in there, let me know. But somebody will end up with one of these. I probably will. I could go either way with the hood on this. I can bolt the hood on because this comes off so easy and just put my battery in and then slap it back on. Or I can screw the body down and open the hood and just put the body in. So either way. But these are neat. And this is a Base Camp Builders kit. The new kit would work for this as well. No problem. I like building kits, you guys. So you get a kit, a Ryan built rig with an IJ on it if you want. or any of the other bodies I have, honestly. There's part of me is still, I want to shrink down a Ford and do a 10 scale Ford. Aha, Fred's hanging on. I know, right? Like he's been teasing retirement for a minute. He's got a lot of toys he's got to get to, man. Beat the Creek. Anyone close to that, I'll see you there, dude. I'm going this time. And we're bringing stuff to sell too. Because when new rigs come, I got to get them. I got to get them. Is all I could do to not pull the trigger on the SR5 Toyota. I'm like, I got to do a video on it, so that's cool. That video got over 7,000 views. I don't know where it's at now, but down and dirty too. But I think that's going to be a great year for 10 scale. Let's see how that one's doing real quick. It's pushing, it's almost 8,000. Yeah, man. I like it. I like it. Guys, thanks for your time. I couldn't wait till 11 to go, man. I wanted to, but man, I wanted to talk about that new one today. So with that, thanks for coming by and letting me nerd out on the new release. There's a lot of cool little differences about it. It is basically a straight axle Coyote, guys, with beefier links, and it's a kit. That is really the boil down of that new kit, which is not a diss at all. I love that it comes with bumpers and so many ways to mount it, and the slim down spur cover so you can put the battery where it belongs, down low up in the front. Pretty cool stuff. That's it for me. We'll see you in the next one. We're out of here in 5. Ty will be on tomorrow, I think, probably somewhere. Check him out. Go by the Fun Zone. It's always a good time. And we'll be back with Kelly Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern time for RC 3D Fab Factory. Post up what you're doing on the air side at RC Pilots Lounge Facebook group. On the 3D printing crawler side, you can hit us up on the RC 3D Fab Factory Facebook group. You can tag me in what you're doing too if you just post up on your own stuff. And links to my short form like Instagram and stuff like that is in the description of every video. And links to the stuff we talked about today. So we'll see you in the next one. We're out of here in 5. Hanger Rats forever. We'll 3 you later. You're too good to be forgotten. We will see you next time. Bye now. Boom.